All right, Robin, we're live.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, everybody. This is BizChicks TV, and we are welcoming you to our Thursday Wellness program, which is with Carolina Austin. And today we have Jill Weston as our guest wellness practitioner. Today we have a healthy habit that I'm going to just read, and actually it is from Jill. She shared it with me months ago, and these are the benefits of meditation. Jill is our meditation guru, as I would call her. She's also my Nidra yoga Nidra instructor and a yoga Nidra practitioner. So we're going to talk today about meditation. So I'm going to read to you some facts about the benefits of meditation. And then after that, I will introduce Jill and we'll get going with today's show. Okay, meditation has been shown to have potential benefits for heart health that are not widely known. Here are a few facts. Reducing stress. Meditation has been shown to reduce stress levels, and high levels of stress can contribute to heart disease. By reducing stress, meditation may help lower your risk of developing heart disease. Lowering blood pressure. Meditation has been shown to lower blood pressure, which is a risk factor for heart disease. By lowering your blood pressure through meditation, you may be able to reduce the risk of developing heart disease. Reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a risk factor for heart disease, and studies have shown meditation may help to reduce inflammation in the body, which could potentially reduce the risk of developing heart disease. And improving sleep. Meditation has been shown to improve sleep quality, which could potentially lower your risk of developing heart disease. So enhancing heart rate variability, which is HRV, is a measure of the variation in the time between each heartbeat. Excuse me. High HRV is a sign of a good heart health, while low HRV is a risk factor for heart disease. Studies have shown that meditation can enhance HRV, which could potentially lower your risk of developing heart disease. So, overall, meditation may be a helpful practice for heart health, as it has the potential to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, reduce inflammation, improve sleep, and enhance heart rate variability. So there you go. I am a meditation practitioner. I dabble in it, and it's a practice. So with that, I would like to introduce Jill Weston to everybody. Carolina's in the background because we're having a little technical problems this morning. But let's bring on Jill. Hi, Jill.
Good morning, Robin.
I was trying to figure out the last time we saw you, which was way back in, oh my goodness, it was way back in February.
It's been a little while.
Yes, and we've had lots of journeys in this few months that we haven't seen each other. So we're so happy you're here. People were excited when I was announcing you were coming on, like, oh yay, we haven't seen Jill in a long time. So it was really good to have you on the schedule. So thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
So what do you have for us this morning?
Today's topic feeds into everything that you were talking about. We're going to do a meditation, a visualization towards the end. Today I want to talk about overcoming, and with a focus on the word over, because I think these days, for a lot of people, most of their lives, the nervous system is overly stimulated because you're thinking, you're doing, you're reacting, you're responding. I think, regardless of what age you are, whether you run a business or not, whether you have a large business or a small business, whether you're a parent or just help out with kids and people, whether you are caregiving, there's a lot of overwhelm, probably more these days, the last 4 or 5 years, if you will. And then it feels like there's many new things to think about and many new things to consider. So for most of us, wherever you're watching throughout the nation, the weather, for example, it's going to be especially hot where we are here in Sacramento, in Texas, Florida, other places it's even hotter. I have a friend that was in New York, and she was remarking that a couple weeks ago they had, a huge influence from the fires in Canada. So typically, I think we have the more, not mundane, but more things that we are used to worrying about, used to planning for. And in the last couple of years, that's changed a lot. When the pandemic hit, that was new for everybody. The weather issues, we're used to things being hot and flooding or, tornadoes. I was watching the news this morning, and apparently there was tornadoes in Chicago. So there's lots of things we can say about that. My focus is it's so much easier these days to become overwhelmed. And so I want to share a little bit about overcoming that overwhelm on a day-to-day basis. So just so I don't miss anything, some of the over that I'm referring to is overdoing. So we overdo personally, we overdo in our businesses sometimes. We also overcommit. I am a helper at heart, and I really do love to help people, and I find myself sometimes when I look at my calendar and I look at things that I have to do, overcommitting. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to do those things. It doesn't mean that I don't want to help the people, that are maybe asking, or even sometimes just overcommitting. Sometimes I even overcommit to my own self-care. And it's like, I'm gonna do a yoga nidra, I'm gonna go relax, I'm gonna go take a walk, and I think to myself, there's no way I can do all of that in a day. Or for some people, the overcommitting to self-care can even be that, you don't feel like you have enough knowledge. You may not have the financial capacity to do that, but you're still trying without stepping back and going, wait, what am I doing? Over worrying, overthinking, which to me is kind of entangled. And if you're listening, you may say to yourself, well, I have to think. There are things to worry about, but it's the ideas, is it the over part? So thinking is very normal. It's a way that we get things done. Worrying is normal and actually can be good for you because it can help you weed out what's important and what's not. If we didn't worry, we probably wouldn't get anything done. But it's the over worry, the overthinking. We overreact. Sometimes we overeat in response to all of that. So we're flooded with experiences, and sometimes we don't know how to best navigate or maybe how best to organize some of that. Because the reality is, when we talk about overcoming and the overwhelm, I want people to understand there's ways that you can monitor that. There's ways you can offset it. There's ways you can make it not so loud. Because the reality is those things are probably not going to stop coming at you. And in some way, hopefully, you keep having decisions to make. You keep having experiences because that is life. I just don't want people to live in that overwhelmed state. So I'm going to pause there in case there's any questions. Again, the wrap up kind of is this idea of really, really understanding and taking a look at how much are you overdoing, overscheduling, being overwhelmed, overthinking. Some of those practices are normal and it gets you through your day, gets you through your life, but it's the over part. So I'll pause there and then we'll move into the visualization for, well, what do we do about it? So Robin or Terry, if you're able to pop in, any questions on that, the overdoing, the overworrying?
Well, the thing that comes to mind first and foremost for me is when you talk about overwhelm, overcoming the overwhelm, overcoming the overworry and overthinking. It kind of leads to me to think about overcoming a sort of depression, in the sense that when you feel like everything is too much, or maybe I can't handle it or whatever. For me, it leads into maybe I can't, and then I get into kind of a depressed mode. So I'm imagining that overcoming this overwhelm is going to help with depression too.
Yes, it can.
and just how you're just overall feeling about looking forward.
Mhm. No, that's a good point. Because again, this isn't a cure for anything. I'm not diagnosing, but just that overall feeling sometimes, literally, as Robin is saying, you look around, you look within, you look and see all the things that you have to take care of, that you should do, that you're supposed to do, that you want to do. And many people get to a point where then they do nothing. And sometimes it's, which came first. But when your body feels like everything is too much, your hormones change, nerve endings change, all of that is real in your body. And even if it's just thinking yourself, in a way, thinking yourself into a depression because of those overriding thoughts, it's all real. And you get to a point in your body where there's the fight or flight and also freeze. Sometimes for me, because again, I'm a doer, I'm a giver, I'm not one to sit on the couch. I do rest, but I can find myself, I love to do to-do lists, but then I look at my to-do list and I think, well, where do I even start? And I've done the practices of, list the things that you want to do first, the things that you're excited about, list it in a couple different areas, give yourself 5 minutes. But sometimes I have to acknowledge that I look at that list, or the list is in my head, and I think, oh, I'm tired even before I get going. And then for me, sometimes I don't necessarily overeat, but I will go outside. And the other day I found myself, I was outside trimming my bougainvillea plant instead of working on I have a retreat coming up, and I knew I needed to work on the retreat, but I was in that point when I looked at it, I was like, I don't even know where to start. And I had lined out how to start. And then I gave myself grace. And I was like, you know what? Stay outside, do what you need to do, and then in 5 minutes, come back in. So I'm going to lead a visualization practice that will
Well,
help you with the overwhelm.
well,
Terry,
Jill, before we do that, can you hear me?
yes.
You
Okay.
sound good.
The thing that I think about is that for some reason we think we can get over this stuff in 5 minutes after it's been building up for quite a while with us thinking we're coping with it. So, you know, I I like the part that you said we need to give ourselves some grace. Just, you know what I mean? Grace and space to step away from being overwhelmed. Is
Yes.
that possible? I
It
mean,
it is possible, and I'm glad that you said that, Terry, because giving yourself grace and space to overcome, the first step usually though is even noticing that you are overwhelmed. So as
mm,
Terry was saying, we think we're supposed to handle all this, and we think we're supposed to, a 5-minute meditation will cure it, and it's a practice. Because even a 5-year-old, the other day, I was working at a school. I'm doing a five class series with kindergartners to fifth graders on mindfulness and overwhelm and stress. And even the 5-year-olds, when I said, is there a lot of stuff going on in your head? Like, are there lots of thoughts in your head? They were able to tell me. So from, I don't know, maybe 3 years old or on, who knows? We're self-programmed. We're programmed by society. It is really what it works in some ways to be busy. So when people say, hey, what do you have going on in your schedule? What are you doing today? What are you doing for the rest of the year? What are your New Year's resolutions? What are you doing for the first quarter? We constantly hear and think we're supposed to be getting things done, and we do need to get things done.
mm,
So when you think of the totality of hearing all that all the time and expecting it, you're not going to change it by listening. I mean, this visualization I'm going to do, I think, is going to be helpful. You might need to listen 10 times. You might need to listen 20 times. You might need to listen 10 times a day. You might need to listen to a different style of a visualization, because it's the undoing. I think there's a lot of ing words today. It's the undoing in order to get into the overcoming. A lot of what I talk with people about is, can you step back? Can you rest? Can you pause to be the observer? If you do not observe yourself, you don't know what it is that you need to adjust or change. You don't know why you're not navigating life well if you don't know how you navigate life. So absolutely, Terry, yeah. It's in a lot of the meditation, mindfulness that I offer, it's called a practice because it's everything that we do is literally a practice.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you're able, Terry, I'll read the quote if you're able to put it on the screen. If not, no worries. There's a quote that I really like by Octavia Rahim, and she wrote a wonderful book and does some great work about rest. And the saying is, your greatest revelations are waiting for you to rest and receive them. Your greatest revelations are waiting for you to rest and receive them. So if you don't rest and you don't receive those revelations, the ahas, the hey, you are overwhelmed, you're overthinking, you can't receive that.
Mm.
So the visualization that we're going to do today with just a little bit of breath work, it's an opportunity to step back and just say, what is going on for me? And then you figure out a solution. I did this with the kids last week and they really liked it. Like we visually pushed the problems to the side for a moment. But my message to them is your problem is not gone. This doesn't solve the problem. It gives you grace and space to go, oh, that's the problem. That's the opportunity. What do I want to do with it? So that's what we'll do today.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And for those of you watching, know that this is going to be a little bit abbreviated. This might be a 10 or 20-minute practice. I'm going to walk you through it in just about 5 minutes, just for the sake of being live on the session. This is something you can do on your own. So you can watch it on repeat or do this on your own and just lengthen it out to 10, 12 minutes. And then maybe the next time it's 15 minutes. Take as long as you need to.
Great.
So starting out, just get comfortable. You can be in a seated position. I would say probably don't lay down because you might drift off to sleep. So you're just going to be in a seated position.
Okay.
You might sit up a little bit straighter as you're listening or watching. Maybe have your shoulders back just a little bit. Have your chest up high. And take an easy inhale. Nice. And exhale when you're ready. And then even if you're sitting, have your arms maybe down to the side. And then kind of turn your palms forward. So your palms are going to be facing forward, arms out to the side a little bit. I call it kind of the modified super person pose. So your arms don't have to be way out, but turning the palms forward will rotate the shoulders back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then just very gently look down a little bit. Very gently, just look down, tilt the chin down, and have your eyes down. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes if you want to. And I want you to imagine all of the stuff, all of the things that you need to do. And as you imagine the things that you need to do, this could be the things in the next day, the next week, your lifetime. And don't worry if it feels unpleasant. You can also see or imagine your to-do list. It could be your immediate to-do list, your life to-do list. And imagine those things getting closer to you. They're all around your feet, all around your ankles. There's no harm there. They're just kind of sitting there. You're just noticing all these things that you should do, that you must do, that you want to do. And even with your chin down, still having the shoulders back, the palms forward. And I want you to notice your breath. And notice each exhale. And keep your rhythm the same. Just notice each exhale. And when you feel like you're connected to your exhale, when you feel like you are connected to your exhale, I want you to imagine blowing away, gently blowing away the to-do lists, the stuff, all those things that are right at your feet. Gently exhaling, blowing away the stuff, the things that feel like they're just knocking on your door, demanding your attention. Repeat this gently, with each exhale, gently blowing away. Just feel a little more space around you. Feel a little more room around you. And then I want you to look out a little bit and find one item, just one item, one thing. And maybe in your imagination, it doesn't look as overwhelming. It doesn't look as colorful. It doesn't look as big. You can let it be a little bit closer. And now imagine very gently, noticing and as you notice that one thing on your to-do list, that one objective, something you want to take care of, imagine that you have the space, the time, the knowledge, the energy to take care of that one thing. And if you're not able to imagine that, you can repeat it, try it again. If you're still not able to imagine, go ahead and exhale it away. Maybe blow it away gently. Or maybe you choose something else. And in this restful state, in this pause, know that you're giving yourself grace and space. You're giving yourself grace and space for rest and for clarity. Starting to overcome that overwhelm. And if you're listening live or on the replay, you can continue. You can repeat this, finding something else on your to-do list that you want to work with. Notice that and then blow it away. But for Terry and Robin, I'm going to count you back so that we finish the show. So on 3, just start to notice your fingers, your hands, your toes, and your feet. 2, bring awareness back from the top of your head, across your shoulders, all the way down to your feet. And then 1, very softly opening the eyes, maybe still staring down at your feet. And 0, bring awareness back to your breath, maybe taking a deep inhale and exhale, a deep inhale and exhale. So that was a very short visualization, probably only about 5-7 minutes. Again, I encourage you to get the full benefit to have that practice be a little bit longer and take all the time that you need to blow away, to take a look at what's around you. And again, it's an opportunity to step out of overwhelm and maybe feel like you are overcoming a little bit more. So that's my offering for the day, and I hope that's helpful for you.
So, Terralina, do you want to go, or should I go ahead and give Jill my reaction?
I think you should go. I have to
Okay.
wake up.
I always put Terry to sleep.
Oh,
So I've been kind of in a bad place this last week, mentally. And you know what that did for me, Jill, was it helped me look at my list of things to do is not that big and not that hard. It's just a lot of stuff up here, but when I really looked at each thing that is on my to-do list, they're very doable. Just together, they just seem a lot, you know, breaking them out like that. And then I actually end up grouping them into action items. Like I have to make phone calls. So I was like, I gotta call so and 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 so. And then so I just grouped all the phone calls into one action item.
Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, so doing this, you can decide if you actually want to problem solve. So do you just need space or grace to see what's out there,
Mhm.
to disconnect from the pressure?
Mhm.
As Robin did, you can step in and do a little bit of the problem solving. I say that's brilliant.
wow. Well, I am in the process of um, doing some remodeling. So everything is out of place and it's very distracting to me. And so I was able to recognize that I'm doing one room at a time. So that this room is now ready to be, you know, renovated, and let's just focus on that. Not all of the stuff that you had to move out of there to get to get to the walls just so you could paint it. Because we collect a lot of stuff over the course of our lives, Jill, including stress, because clutter is a terrible thing. And so I was able to compartmentalize that and say, okay, look, you have this going on. Let's just deal with this part.
Nice, good observation. Yeah, those are both your reactions and what you chose to do in the visualization are really powerful. Anything that tells the brain that at this moment it really doesn't have to multitask.
Mm-hmm.
Brain science behind that. There are times that, yes, it is good to multitask, but we cannot multitask 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for 10, 20, 60, 70, 80 years. It's why we go into overwhelm. So
Yes.
thank you both for experiencing the visualization, and I'll hand it back to either Robin or Terry to close out the show.
Well, Robin, I want to share um, how to connect with Jill. And so let me see if I can present. I didn't even try this. Okay. Yeah, this looks like it. Okay, so we are here at Jill's Breathing Space. This is her website. You can sign up to get your emails and your discounts on different events that are going on and classes. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Jill?
Sure. So that's the website where I have all of my events. And sometimes people think of events as something to attend in person. So for the event page, those are there's a retreat that I have coming up the end of July. It's a 3-day retreat where we'll do lots of meditation, yoga nidra, and also you can come and nap. The closing date is on Friday, however, that we have, I think, 3 beds left. And then always throughout the month and throughout the year, if I have online sessions or in-person sessions, I'm at a couple different studios in different places, and also I'm traveling. So that's a place where you can look to attend either live or in person. And then also on the website, if you look around, I have on-demand recordings on there, both yoga nidra and a couple guided meditations. And then also the website will lead you to the app that I'm on, and that's Insight Timer. I think Terry might have a link for that.
Yes, we're getting ready to show that. I put the link in the chat
Okay.
for her website as well as Inside Timer. So I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to go over to Inside Timer so people will know when they are in the right space.
And for the app, what I really like, there's many different people that are offering sessions on there. If you're in the midst of renovating and you're overwhelmed, if you're in the midst of making a phone call and you're having literally, truly having a panic attack, this app is amazing because it's on demand, meaning you use it when you need it. 2 o'clock in the morning in another country, in your car, there's music, there's meditations. I lead a live yoga nidra once a month, usually on the third Sunday. And then I have a sleep meditation on there and a couple other meditations that can be helpful. So it's on demand, completely donation based. I also love that you can listen to a session if you don't have the means to contribute or you just want to stay in the blissful zone. You can always come back later anytime and contribute if you're able to. So that's the Insight Timer app. It's safe to download. It's free to download, and then pretty much everything on there is donation based. So thank you for sharing that.
You're quite welcome. We just are really always excited when you come, Jill, because we know that we're going to be able to just relax and learn something new about how to stay calm and chill with Jill. So, um, who do we have next week, Robin?
Next week, we are blessed with Linus Mullins. So
Oh, that should be
will be
good.
with us next week.
I heard from Linus this morning. She's been on an adventure.
Is that right?
Yeah, so that should be very interesting. I want to thank you, Jill. It's my understanding that you've been traveling, and we hope, we hope that you will continue those travels. And we have truly, truly missed you.
Thank you. You guys too.
We truly missed you. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much. Robin, you always have such great guests. We just really want to acknowledge that and thank you for your endeavors because you always bring to the table something that we can use to help us run a profitable business that's fun to run. So, guys, if you're interested in becoming a part of the BizChicks community, you can simply text biz to 33777 um, and fill out your profile. Let us know. We'd love to share with others what it is you do and how you serve. Or you can find us over at bizchicks.net. We are here for you. We can help you with any of your tech needs. Just give us a call or a direct message, and we'll be glad to speak to you. With that, we want to remind you it's okay to make money in your business. So have a great day and continue to prosper. We'll see you soon. Bye bye, everyone. Thanks again, Jill and Robin.